Feel on wheels.
Wheels on wheels.
Before you start,
Yeah.
can you just, I'm going to walk into your shots and so I don't end up wrecking what you're doing.
I mean, I would use it if you're in the shot.
Oh, okay, cool. Then I'll just do my.
But yeah, feel free to video bomb us, Brian. I think it's interesting.
Yeah. I feel a lot of things about roller skating.
Hi, I'm Mean Bean, and this is Feels on Wheels, a talk show about roller skating.
Them Mayhem, also known as CC, pronouns she, they, is a roller derby player with the Ottawa Valley Roller Derby League. She plays on two teams, the B-level travel team, the Riptides, and the House League team, the Street Rats. CC also volunteers her time as a roller derby referee.
CC, or Them Mayhem, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Of course.
When did you start roller skating?
I started roller skating in February 2023. Yes.
So not that long ago.
Not that
You're
long
a
ago.
fantastic skater.
Oh, thank you.
Did you have any other skating experience, like
No.
blading or ice skating?
No.
Nothing at all.
Not really. I mean, I know how to ice skate, but not well. I've now been on ice skates since I started roller skating, so I don't know how my improved skills would transfer back.
So how did you get involved in derby?
At first, I watched a few bouts, played in, I think it was 2018 or thereabouts. And people probably know this instant attraction to roller derby. It's really quite a cool sport. Like the punk aesthetics, the DIY feel to it, the badass women and genderqueers just skating into each other and, all of it. I was quite attracted to it. And I didn't really think of myself as ever playing it, though. I don't know if you know that, but I'm actually transgender.
Oh, okay. Right? Yes, I know.
No,
I do.
And at that time, I wasn't anywhere close to where I am now in my transition. So I did not think that, playing a women's sport didn't actually occur to me as something that I would do, right? Because that didn't make any sense to me at the time. But then at a Pride Parade, I think also around that same time, I got handed an OVRD flyer that, among other things, said referees, all genders, any genders or whatever. And so I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. I've always been very big on justice, and also the cool people with the cool referee names. Also, I noticed them doing the bout as well, right? So I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I reached out, and the next 101 didn't start for a while, and then it just slipped my mind, and then the pandemic happened, and then other things happened. I lived abroad for a year, and then when I came back, I had made a ton of changes to my life, including starting more on my transition and some other things, and I felt I needed a new hobby. And I almost started pole dancing.
Ooh.
And then for some reason, just as I was about to sign up for pole dancing classes, that old flyer came across. And I thought, oh, I look into that again. And it was just the right time for 101 to start. And I started that instead. And I think it was the right decision.
But why not both?
Time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then definitely choose derby then.
Yeah.
So you chose that instead, and you had said at first that you didn't really see yourself because you were transitioning. What changed in your mindset when you felt like you were finally able to accept that part?
When I finally signed up for 101, it was still with the intention to becoming a referee. My transition is a little bit weird, and as all of them are. But at that point, I still wasn't at the place where I am now, let's just say that. And I was still intending to become a referee. And then two things happened. First, I realized that not just the official policies were quite inclusive of gender non-conforming people, but also the actual practice and the self-understanding of the sport and the community was really fiercely embracing, right? And so when I realized that, I thought, okay, so that's interesting. And then also we had our first contact practice in 101. Oh my God, I want more of that. And so then I was starting to consider becoming a player. And I was still quite reluctant on the whole gender thing, but I explored it more, talked to more people, and it became quite clear that it's a real thing, right? That derby, the community, is very inclusive of non-binary folks and trans folks. And actually my derby name, Them Mayhem, kind of reflects my uncertainty, unsureness around that time, because I hadn't really changed a lot of my presentation at that time. So I wanted to make sure that everyone was clear that what they have in front of them is a genderqueer person, and I wanted my derby name to help communicate that.
Okay.
And so that's the history. Not many people know that. Now more people know that.
Yeah.
That's the history of my derby name, why it's Them Mayhem, is to make sure that everyone knows that that's what's going on.
And right now you go by she, they pronouns?
Yeah.
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 So do you think you'll ever change your derby name?
That's a good question. I've been thinking about that. I don't know. Right now, I don't think so, because I do currently understand myself as a non-binary trans woman, and some people might find that contradictory. I don't think I do. So it still works for me in that sense, and I feel a lot of things about the non-binary part of my identity, and about the good and important things, and about the trans feminine part of my identity as well. And I feel settled in that right now after all the journeying. But you never know, right? Life is a journey, right?
Sure, and KJ has that sticker, right? Thems can be thems.
Absolutely. I need that on something. Yeah.
No, that's what. Also, your derby name rocks.
Thank you.
I just think it's amazing. You had said at first the transitioning was a bit confusing. Did roller derby help in any way?
Oh yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, in so many ways. I'm getting quite emotional because it's been really important and helpful. Just the level of acceptance, I don't experience that anywhere else besides my immediate family and dedicated trans spaces. It just doesn't exist anywhere else please tell me if it exists anywhere else. I want to go there, but I haven't experienced it elsewhere except for at home and dedicated trans spaces. So give you an example, when I changed my first name, I was on vacation and finally figured out after 4 years of searching what I want my first name to be like. And we had a game right after I came back, and I told only 2 or 3 people. Before a game it's always a little bit hectic and you don't have a lot of time to talk to people, right? But by the time the game was over and we were at the after party, everyone knew, right? So some people, some amazing people, and made sure that important news spread without me having to do anything, and that I wouldn't be called by the wrong name anymore. And that's just it meant a lot to me to see just how important my well-being in that particular instance was for my league mates, and that's just very beautiful. And there's other examples too. That's just the single most touching. And so yeah, I mean it gave me a lot of confidence, right? As a space that isn't dedicatedly trans, or my family, that there's people are supportive of what I'm doing, and are okay with it, and yeah, are on board and everything.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Any other sport, I guess, the trans inclusivity is just so much different. For me, I do competitive ultra distance cycling, and last year I went to the North American Championships, and
Wow.
and that's a question that came up, right? When I decided whether or not to go, I actually had to convince the governing body to start a non-binary category, because I did not want to compete in the women's category. The result that I get I won the non-binary category, and I would have also won the women's category, and I did not want to deal with the transphobia that I would have experienced for winning the women's category, right? So that's something that we don't have to worry about in roller derby, right? And that's quite amazing. But I think it's important for us in derby to remain this strong place, this principled space, in wider sports, athletic things, where that actually demonstrates that it is possible to be trans inclusive and still have meaningful competition, but also to resist the backlash, right? I mean, there's in derby too, there's issues in the US where leagues are under pressure to not allow trans women skaters to skate with them, and just to resist that.
And speaking of that, I wanted to get your thoughts, because our league came out with a statement saying that they were not going to participate in tournaments in the United States
Mhm.
because of those
Mhm.
policies,
Mhm.
or rather laws and political climate that's happening to our trans
Mhm.
people right now. What were your thoughts about that?
I think it was a good decision. I don't know how it came about. For me personally, I have decided that I can't right now go to the United States. I mean, it's the official position of the United States that there's two genders, and that each person's gender is the same as the sex assigned to them at birth. And my Canadian passport says F as gender, and I just don't know how an American border official will deal with this discrepancy of me presenting as myself and the official government policy, of which is of course stupid, but which is nevertheless their government's policy. And so it's just totally unpredictable how they will deal with that situation, right? And I don't want to be there to find out. I think it's great, and to make that decision proactively rather than having to put it on trans folks to say, like, if we would have gotten an invitation from the US League to play them, right? What would have happened, right? Like, we could have said, okay, like, how do our trans skaters feel about this? Is a horrible position to put something in, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad that we don't have to, as trans skaters, don't have to be in this position of saying, yeah, we don't want you to go, we are okay with you going, but we won't join you. This is all just bad outcomes.
We all go or we don't go.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's much better. Yeah.
In the Slack group, you mentioned a quote from April
Yeah.
in the podcast that she
Yeah.
was featured on in Ottawa.
Yeah.
We're not traveling to the United States right now because a lot of people who join roller derby haven't found their place somewhere else. And it's so important that we make sure that they know their place is here. We've been all over the US for games and tournaments, but this year we're not doing it.
Is there a fear that going across the border would be problematic, or is it more of a principle thing, like, this is the stance that we are taking, this is our form of protest?
It is our form of protest to want to keep our own people safe and to know that we would choose them over any level of competitiveness. It's not nearly as valuable to us as the people who are in our league now and have chosen us, so we're choosing them.
They chose us, and so we are choosing them. It was very beautiful. I might have had a tear or two in my eye. It's a great sentiment, and that's how it felt like, right? When the league decided that. Yeah, I was quite happy about it.
Very well said, April.
Yeah.
Very well said.
100%.
It was beautiful. This experience in Derby and this acceptance, has it helped you hold your head a little bit higher in public? And
Yeah. My transition has never been hard. It's easy for me at work. It's easy for me in public. I live in probably one of the best neighborhoods to be trans. Like, we have the trans library down the street, right? So
Right.
It's never been really hard for me compared to stories that I find. So I didn't want to make that impression. It's just Derby is the singularly best place. But I haven't really run into a ton of specifically directed at me transphobia, right? Of course we live in a transphobic world and there is generalized transphobia everywhere, but specifically directed at me, there's not been a lot. But I do think nevertheless that just the exceptionally high levels just help with confidence anyway, right?
if you could speak to 2019 CC, what would you tell her?
What would I tell her? I don't even remember that person really well. I don't know. I think everything's got to be okay. But yeah, 2019, it's interesting to bring it up because late 2019, early 2020 was when I started to come out as genderqueer to people outside of my immediate family. And so it is kind of okay, so that person, 2019, early 2020, was already starting on their journey, and I would just tell them, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right track.
So for other people who would have been where you were in 2019, just starting that journey, but not necessarily presenting as femme right away, what would you say to them if they were interested in joining roller derby?
Oh, it's for everyone, right?
Yeah.
I think it is for everyone. Well, yes, it is absolutely for everyone. And that's another thing that I love about it, is that it is one of those sports where, well, maybe it's the one sport, I don't know, where you don't have to have a particular type of body. You don't have to be a particular age. It's inclusive in terms of gender, in terms of also inclusivity and acceptance of neurodivergence. And there's just like so much acceptance and inclusivity of different people that it's like pretty much all for anybody, right? So yeah, come and be part of it, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess what I was getting at is like even if you're not femme presenting yet or ever, right? It's still a place for you too, right?
Totally,
Like,
yeah.
I want to ask you about your trip to South Africa.
Mm.
And you visited a derby league out there.
Two, actually. Yeah.
Can you tell me about that experience?
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, that's another cool thing about derby, right? Like you have instant friends.
Yeah.
Like everywhere. So I was for work. I was in South Africa, and I spent some time in Johannesburg and some time in Cape Town. And I reached out to both of these leagues, and just hey, what's going on, right? Like, and originally it looked like they both had bouts on the weekends that I was there, and I offered like to referee. And Cape Town, they said, oh, but you can also just play. So, oh yeah, for sure. In the end, none of them had bouts because Johannesburg actually moved it a week earlier, and in Cape Town they didn't have enough players. But I went to practices, and it's so cool. Like we scrimmaged at the practices, at least in Johannesburg, and it's like you understand how the game works, right? Like so you have this common activity that you can do, but also it's a shared culture to a certain degree anyway. And there was just like people that you want to hang out with, right? And in Cape Town, it was a roller disco that they did instead of the bout. So I went there and skated around a little bit. And one of the practices in Cape Town was actually part of the preparation of Team South Africa for the World Cup. So I was invited to be part of that, which was exciting. I don't know, it felt like instant friends in different parts of the world because of this shared interest in this shared sport, but also because the sport has this culture and certain ethics associated with it, that that people that you meet with aren't dicks and transphobes, right, for the most part. And whereas like if you play, I don't know, basketball, you don't know whether the league in a different country or a different city has different values and whatnot as your home team. And I think that's like in derby, that's different, right?
Yeah, for sure. So positionally speaking, you play everything. You play blocker, jammer, pivot, but I think you're more of a jammer, aren't you? Yeah. So what attracts you to the position of jamming?
I don't have a background in team sports, but I have a background in lots of individual sports, and I find it hard to figure out how to play with others. And so that's like what attracts me less to blocking, because frankly I often find myself standing there when I'm doing it and just not really understanding how it works. And I feel like my ADHD makes it easier for me to focus on smaller things, and it feels to me that for blocking, you just need to be aware of more things. I mean, for jamming, you also need to be aware of tons of things, but it's more of a singular focus that has like lots of tiny components going into it, of course, and track awareness and where's everyone else and whatever. But like the objective is the same. Whereas with blocking, you have to decide whether it's more important to be offensive or defensive, or and you switch between them. Also, like apparently you have to listen to more of communications. I barely hear anything that anyone else says or yells when I'm playing. So that's another thing. It feels to me that it is more suitable to the way that my perception, my awareness works, anticipating what the decisions that my fellow blockers would be making. I find it really, really hard. It's something I want to work on or get better at. But as I said, like this is my third season, right? So it's not been a long time. And for now, it feels that jammer is easier for the way my awareness of the track and my brain works and my skills work and like my little experience with team sports seems to work better for that position.
Well, and jamming is very physically demanding, like very, but you are definitely an athlete. You do other sports outside of derby, right? Like cycling is a big one, I think, right? And you told me once how you did a 24-hour cycling race.
My other main sport is ultra distance cycling. And so I've even done longer ones.
Wow.
But 24 hours is my favorite event mostly because it's nice and long. but it's short enough so that you don't have to think about sleep strategy, which I find really, really hard to get right. Also, it's really hard to actually train. So time consuming, right? Like if you do a 48-hour race, you can't really do 48 hours of training, right? So then how do you practice those things? Yeah, and I don't know, what do you want to know?
Just what you do outside of Derby. I mean, I could tell when you're jamming. I don't even think you get tired.
Oh, I do get tired.
You don't look like you get tired. I have done practices with you as a blocker. Did we play that home team game when you were blocking? So I think you were great.
Oh, thank you.
So I really enjoyed being in a tripod with you. So I think there's definitely potential there if you ever did want to block. So what do you have coming up this season as far as Derby goes?
I mean, it kind of feels like it's almost winding down, right? I mean, this season is my first on our second travel team, the Riptides. Shit, what's going on?
It is the Riptides, yeah. You want to try it?
Yeah, so it feels like the season's almost winding down, right? Like, this season is my first on our new Riptides travel team, our second travel team. So that's pretty cool. And we have like a few more games coming up. I'm going with home team. I'm going to Feast of the East in Montreal. What, like next weekend?
Yes.
And then I'm going to the Mixfits Derby camp the week after. Yeah, so there's a bunch more things Derby-wise, and then some refereeing too. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this season, I think.
Can you talk to me about trying out for the B team? So the home team you don't have to try out for, but you do have to try out for the Riptide.
That's right.
So being 3 years in, like, you're still relatively new. So what was that process like for you? What made you decide, I want to be a little bit more competitive with roller derby?
Let me think about that. To a degree, it's like I really like playing, and getting more chances to play is more playing.
Sure.
I felt that I wanted to increase the intensity of the playing a little bit, and it felt that travel team would be the way to go with that. And so, yeah, so I figured that I should at least try out, and coaches encouraged me to do that, and so I did, and I made the cut. So yeah, tryouts were actually really fun to do. Lots of people showed up, and it was like a little bit more intense, which I like. And so it was a good experience.
And you've played some away games already, right?
Yeah, Riptides, we played one away game in Kingston at the end of June. And that was our first win ever.
Right on. Yeah, you guys did great that game.
Yeah, you were there, right?
I was there. Yeah, I was on
that
third
was
turn.
fun. That was a really fun game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just because we won, because it was also we were well matched. So it felt like we had to work for them.
And you played in Toronto too, right?
Yes.
Hogtown for the house team.
That was like our house team mashup.
Yes.
We called Vermin.
Yes.
And yeah, that was also very well matched. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Derby's a family affair, right?
I have a child in juniors.
Yeah. Tell me about that. How did that get started?
This was just the second year of doing it, so they started a year after me. I guess they liked what they saw.
Nice.
and were interested in trying it, and they have a really good time with it. They just like the camaraderie, the career friendliness, and all these things. So works great for them. Great fun sport to play for children as well.
I can't imagine a better place for teenagers, right?
Yeah.
As a third space. It's really, really great. And refereeing, just tell me how that's been going. I think you've traveled quite a few times to referee. I've seen you in Kingston, I feel like.
Yeah, I've been in Kingston and Toronto. But what I usually do is, like, I feel if I play one game and referee another, that makes the travel more worthwhile. So usually when, like, last year we went to Toronto for a game, and so I offered to referee. All games are usually double headers, right? Like, offered to referee the other one and did that, and did this again when we went in Toronto this year, and then in Kingston. And so that's like how that works. And that's a cool community as well, the Derby referees. Yeah.
And you guys never get a break. Like, you're constantly skating. It's not like you have shifts.
Yeah, but it's less intensity, right?
Yeah,
the skating is much less intensity.
You're not getting hit.
No, you're not getting hit. Well, at least the position that I usually referee, you don't need to sprint all that much and long distances.
Aren't you usually a jam ref?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so
there's a
then
bit
I'm
of
sprinting, but
Yeah.
like it is, well, like you know, like but we're on the inside, so we have a shorter distance to
True,
cover, right? And whereas the outside pack revs on the outside have to match the speed of the pack, but have to a larger distance to travel, so that can get quite exhausting.
That's true.
Yeah.
Your style as well, I've got to say, especially as reffing. So you've recently debuted this really cute referee dress with fishnets. So can you talk to me about how your style has evolved by playing derby?
I used to be a jeans and t-shirt kind of person, right?
Okay.
Just like super comfortable and easy to dress. But it also, like in my case, sends a totally wrong message about my gender, and so I had to fix that or change that, and that was actually quite a fun journey. I don't know, like I'm still not quite sure how I should dress myself, still experimenting, but you know, like I think I'm getting there. I don't know, like I mean, like I have a little bit of a punk background, like way back in the day, and like so, like I don't feel I can really do that in my everyday thing because I think it doesn't. I can't really figure out how to do that with my desire for feminine expression, but in derby it kind of works.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so.
But I feel like you can definitely be female punk. I think
Oh,
you could-
100%. 100%.
Yeah, you
I
can
like.
pull
I
that
just
off.
haven't figured out for myself.
That's fair. That's totally fair. So what are your goals for roller derby like in the future? What do you aspire to?
Well, my main goal is not to get injured. I started. I mean, I don't want to share my age necessarily. No, I'm kidding. I started in my like mid 40s, and so I feel like I felt from the beginning actually that if I get a serious injury, that I might not come back. Like I want to keep playing as long as I can. And I might change my mind about that as well, right? But that's how it's been feeling. So I very much want to keep the broken legs and the concussions at a minimum. Like that's the main thing, right? Like I want to keep doing as long as I can and at the highest level that it makes sense for me, injury free.
That's a great goal. I think that's almost everybody's goal, right? We none of us want to get injured.
Yeah, it's so easy, eh? Like little things can cause so much like injury.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be very unpredictable.
Yeah, totally. I feel a lot of things about roller skating. Well, I feel protective, I feel appreciative, I feel protected as well, I feel seen, I feel a lot of love, I feel responsibility, I feel growth, I feel supportive and supported. There's more things, but like I feel a lot of things about roller derby.
But that was very beautiful.
Oh,
thank you so much for doing this with me.
this
It
was
was
fun.
a pleasure to get to know you a bit better too.
Yeah, I enjoy watching you.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Well, that was all Cece.
No, that was
Aw.
fantastic. Like fantastic. Like
Great.
that was gold. Like I finished my business fairly early on and I was sitting there with my headphones on listening. Like, this is a great interview. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you both of your time and you sharing that and allowing me to document that moment. So genuinely thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it.
I think a lot of the magic of interviews is choosing the right guest.
Right.
And I think you're definitely the right guest.
Oh, you make
That's
me
fantastic.
blush.
That was
Or something like that. What time is it now?
I don't know. Probably time practice. I don't even know what time it is.
Not to fall is so much